I just don't like to compete. I compete with myself, and that should be okay. What's your ulterior motive? There's no way you could be doing this just out of goodness. I mean, there must be some benefit that you're getting out of it. My dad was posted in the valley during insurgency, and they're fighting terrorists every day, and they're talking about on the call that who got killed today, and they're all our unit officers, right? People we've lived with, people we've grown up with, and next day they didn't come home because...
Hello everyone, welcome to Curious Souls, welcome back. I am Rishab Jolly and I have my wonderful co-host Ankita with me, and we have a special co-host Gigi as well. Today we are very excited. We have a special guest with us. She is an amazing personality. I'll let Ankita introduce her because I won't be able to do justice. So Ankita, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and our guest?
Thank you so much, Rishab. Hello, everyone. My name is Ankita Mishra. I'm a senior product manager at Microsoft. And this is Gigi, our beautiful fluffer. And we have a very special guest with us tonight. Let me just start with the story, right? So when I moved to Seattle, I was adjusting in, and I've been dancing since I was a kid, since I remember, like I was 5 years old in Chandigarh. And when I came to Seattle, I was looking for these dancing opportunities, and Instagram shows me this really cool page called Live2Dance. And from there, I start seeing, okay, there's a lot of community, happy faces. And one fine day, I take out time from my busy schedule and try to decide to go to this class, which is 10 minutes from my house. And I enter into this fun Bollywood class on a Thursday evening right after work. And there she is, standing between, like, I would say 50 to 60 people with her entire energy, capturing the room with her charisma, her charm, her, just down-to-earth attitude with which she welcomed me, saying that, hey, you know what? Dance is the purest form of joy, and just be yourself. It's no competition. You have to just surround yourself with these lovely people and dance your heart out. And that was a day when I got back home. I was just so happy in my heart. And I also shared this with Rishab, that how wonderful of her experience this was. I reached out to her again and met her for a one-on-one, just to know about her journey and what made her do such wonderful things in Seattle. To every person listening in Seattle, you already know this famous face, and she is none other than Deepali Jamwal.
Woohoo, let's go.
Oh my gosh, what was that? What are you doing? But thank you so much, guys. Thank you so much. What an honor to listen to, something like that and your experience. Thank you so much for sharing. And it's just such a privilege to be here with two talented, absolutely hardworking, people. I'm so proud of both of you for having built, what you're doing here. Mm-hmm. And thank you so much for that introduction, Ankita. That was
I think
so
you should
sweet.
Let Ankita introduce herself. Every time you go on stage or everywhere you go. That was a wonderful
so
introduction,
sweet.
Ankita.
Yeah, I am a kind of person, I would generally not go and say all these things, but once given an opportunity, I would. So today was that day, and I always, I really felt that, Deepali, the way you welcome every person. And I know everybody watching this who have taken her classes, if you're not, you're missing out on them. Trust me on that. It's just so, you don't have to be a dancer to be in any of her classes.
Absolutely.
All her instructors are so down to earth, and this is a culture that I've seen her imbibing in every person who enters that, that room, that you have to respect everyone, you are equals, and you have to just dance without any competition.
Absolutely. So let's hear from Deepali. Deepali, why don't you introduce yourself now? We would love to hear from you, your journey, about your passion, what drives you in life and things that you love. So let's just hear it from you.
I feel like it's such a difficult question for me to answer. And the more I think about who I am, it gets even harder to describe who I truly am, because I feel like there's so many parts to the person that I am. And, and it's always changing. It's always evolving. And I'm taking on more and new roles every single day. I'm a mom, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a community leader, I'm an activist, I'm, a dancer, a dance instructor, I'm a feminist, I'm just so many. I'm an immigrant, and I'm working towards giving more visibility to Indian immigrants.
Yep.
I'm all of this, and yet I'm just a simple girl with really big dreams, and who's always evolving, who laughs out loud, who gives warm hugs. I play pranks. I don't hold back a tear. So I just feel like I, as a person, am always evolving and always changing. It's very hard for me to describe who I am. But one thing that is constant is that I wake up every morning and I tell myself, I'm just gonna bring my best version today. I'm gonna do better than what I did yesterday. Just be
wow.
a better person, better, more kind, more loving, more giving, forgiving. Just be a better person than what I did yesterday. And I genuinely feel, and I say that in every class, and if you've been to any of my classes, you already know this, I say this in every class, that your competition is just you.
That's so true.
There is no other competition.
So true.
Even when I was a kid or, in the corporate sector, I have never been a competitive person. I have always wondered why people, compete. Kya karenge compete karke? Where everybody is going to get promoted. Everybody is going to, everybody's doing their best. Everybody is giving their best. So why are we competing against each other? And often I was made to realize that I'm not ambitious because I'm not competitive. And and there's nothing wrong in not being ambitious. ठीक है यार, everybody is to themselves. But often I was pitted against she's not competitive or she's not ambitious. And later on I realized that it's not that I'm not ambitious. I just don't like to compete. I compete with myself, and that should be okay too. And that's I feel like that's
most healthy competition.
Yeah.
Just look in the mirror and just say, tomorrow I'm going to do better than what I did today. And that's it. And, even if it means giving more hugs or, spreading more love or just being kind or just forgiving and, give more.
That's so beautiful. I mean, I love the fact, Deepali, that you talked about yourself in the introduction, like who you are as a person. Like generally people, they throw titles.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm, this, I'm that, I'm a business owner, or I'm this, I'm blah, foo, bar, right? But you generally introduce yourself like who you are as a person, like,
as a kind person,
authentic,
as a loving,
what are your values? That's like so powerful, like in itself. And by the way, I'm looking at you, I could never say that you're not competitive or ambitious, because the things that you have achieved, you need to have that drive. Like,
I am very driven. I am very, very passionate. I'm actually extremely passionate of every role that I pick up ever. And everything. I feel like I'm, in general, very excited about life. I just feel like, I'm very thankful for this journey that I'm in. Yeah. And I'm very, I'm very hungry for my dreams. Like, I want to achieve my dreams. I want to, leave behind a legacy. And, be it a mom, be it an entrepreneur, be it an immigrant, whoever. But I'm very passionate. I think passion is what fuels your drive, and that is what gives a purpose to your life. So I am very passionate. I am very hardworking, and I think that has always worked in my favor, because I think I borderline thrive off of hard work. Like I feel like I like it way too much.
That's what gives you kick. Okay, so absolutely, and I totally agree with what you said. Right, your competition should be yourself, and that makes you more happy. Like when you're waking up, I think you get that excitement. Okay, I have to go to class. I have to teach this number, and I've seen that on your face. Like I've never seen a dull moment whenever I've met her. However, like she's performed when she's sick in her Live2Dance showcase. It's just beautiful. Okay, coming to Live2Dance, yes, that is a good segue to the next question, which is how and when did you start Live2Dance? What was the passion behind it when you came as an immigrant in this country to start such a platform in Seattle?
The seed of Live2Dance was always sown the moment I moved to North America. It was 15 years ago when I moved to Ottawa in Canada. Okay. And the next day when I woke up, I suddenly found myself so alone. I didn't have any friends. I didn't know a single person. I didn't know who to reach out to. Of course, I had my husband there, but he was very new to the city as well. So I didn't know where do I go. And that's when I realized, as an immigrant, when you move to a new country or a new city outside of school and college, it's very hard to find friends or find your tribe, or where do you find people who look like you, who talk like you, who are as Bollywood as you, who are as, crazy as you. Like, you need to find it's very hard to find. So the motive, mission behind Live2Dance was always to just create that one place where people can come and find each other. Just come and be unapologetically yourselves and just find each other. So that was always the motive and mission. But I feel like, as I grew and as I evolved, and with my experiences, the mission of Live2Dance also grew. It was, which was, after work hobby for people to come and just dance, became a mission to give more visibility to Indian arts and culture. It became a movement to give more voice and representation to Indian community. It is a sanctuary, for the lack of a better term. It has become a sanctuary for people dealing with anxiety and stress and all sorts of problems that comes with loneliness. It has become that. So I feel like how it started, it has evolved a lot, and today it's home to thousands of people. It is, if you ever get a chance to go on Google and check out our reviews, here's my shameless plug-in to go check out our Google reviews. You'll see people have left such big, long reviews about what Live2Dance is.
We have seen that.
People have credited their survival in the US to Live2Dance.
Absolutely.
People have moved to Seattle to be a part of Live2Dance. I know so many people who have just quit their jobs, or switched their jobs, or made their partners switch their jobs to be a part of Live2Dance and stay back in Seattle.
I'm going to make a comment, like the chances of you finding your spouse is more at Live2Dance versus at any matrimonial site.
Oh,
right?
that's true. That is so true,
I know
guys.
so many people who have found their
so
spouses.
Not intentional. It is
But
so not intentional.
It is the power of community, right?
Yeah.
I'm saying
and dancing, I mean, both the things bring you joy.
Right. My point is, like, it's more than dancing. Like, you've managed to create a community, a place where people feel safe.
Yeah.
People feel at home, away from home, like 8,000 miles away
Yeah.
from home. They can actually feel that they're, in a community where they get respect, love, and all the things that the, humans crave for.
I mean, I often say that biologically I have 2 kids, but I have 2,000, and I feel equally protective towards them. I want to shield them. I want to hug them. I want to just give them so much love and tell them that, I'm here for you, and I'll take care of you. I get so many calls and messages from moms in India to tell me that they're not worried about their kids anymore because, they found Live2Dance. So, it's, in short, if I have to describe it, it's home.
That's awesome.
It's beautiful. And I totally agree with that. Like, the whole purpose, I think, when even I started Girl Squad, was like loneliness, moving to a new city, not knowing people. And I think you have to, like, find such places which make you feel belong. Which make you say that, okay, you are not alone. And there is a lot of loneliness when you come out of your home country, right? And trying to find like-minded individual, which is so rare, especially after the pandemic, when, you don't go to work daily, you don't meet people in social occasions. So I mean, but coming back to his point, that's so true. I know so many people who have found their spouses through Live2Dance, and Deepali has attended so many weddings.
Guys, it is so not intentional. It just happens.
My shameless plug-in is that if you're single,
you want to dance, learn a new skill.
I want to say,
spouse.
I'm going to take credit of at least 15 to 20 couples
Wow.
within Live2Dance.
Wow.
Married or dating or whatever. But I take credit for that. And
That's
yes,
amazing,
I have so many weddings that, I attend. And it's almost like they're my kids. And,
you
so
have seen the romance.
Why not? All right, let's move on to the next question. So, there are a lot of people who are aspiring entrepreneurs, Deepali, and they come to America. They want to, learn how to run a business in America. Coming from India, you don't know how to run a business. What are the, nuances, or what are the things that they should think about, and, how to go about and actually dream it and then make it happen. So we're asking you this question because you actually dreamt it one day that you want to run a business over here, and then you made it happen. You not only made it happen, but you made it happen in a very successful way. We are touching so many hearts, not just making money, but touching hearts of people, which is more valuable than just making money. So please share some tips on how a person can actually, build that from the ground.
So some of the tips, actually, I'll start with, if you're an immigrant in the US, number 1 tip would be find a good immigration lawyer. I think it is crucial that you get yourself a solid immigration path and sit, plan, strategize with your immigration lawyer on how you're going to move forward. And it is not going to be easy, but
Yeah.
there's always a way. And if it was easy, everyone would do it, right? So
Absolutely.
Yeah.
it is going to be hard, but that is going to be your number one crucial step to make sure that you find yourself an immigration lawyer. Number two, I'm going to say, is that make sure that you understand that you are going to fail. There is going to be failure. It is inevitable. Failure, heartbreak. Take it from a person who had hit the lowest, both financially and mentally, twice in a span of 3 years, primarily because of immigration. And once I got the immigration covered and I was ready to take off, I injured myself. And then when I came back, pandemic happened. And then I was about to lose my studio space, and my immigration status was connected to my studio space. So I was about to lose that.
wow.
And at one point, I'm dealing with immigration lawyer, I'm dealing with corporate lawyer, I'm dealing with my property manager, with my broker, and while trying every desperate move to keep going so that I can make enough revenue to pay for my space. So it was hard, like seeing every month our bank accounts go into overdraft, and this is not far in the past. It was just during the pandemic. So
Yeah.
it is very hard. You are going to fail. It is hard enough to run a business, period. I mean, you
Yeah.
will face challenge. Things will get thrown at you every single day, which you wouldn't even know because, you've never seen this happen.
Absolutely.
But throw in extra additional challenge of being an immigrant.
Yeah.
It is very hard to do it. So just prepare yourself that you will fail, and it is inevitable. But you just have to keep learning from your failures, right? Don't give, like, I'll make so many mistakes, but I try not to make the same mistakes again. So that's gonna be I guess that's gonna be my number 3 advice, is that just keep fighting for yourself. It is you're in it by yourself. Like, nobody can fight for you as hard as you will fight for yourself.
True.
It's your dream, it is your vision, so you have to fight. If you don't, nobody else is going to. And why should they? It is not their dream, it is yours, so you have to do it. Oh gosh, the number of times I have fought with my family, with my friends, with my husband. Every single day I fight with him because he's very risk averse and I'm a risk taker. So, you can imagine how many times we, butt heads, and every time I'll throw 100 proposal and only 10 get accepted.
Yeah.
And sometimes he gives up, sometimes I give up, and sometimes we compromise. But that's just something, and I'm not saying that he's not supportive. Obviously he's supportive, which is why we are here. But I've had my own share of fights, and that I do. Like, just the other day, we were sitting and I was like, do you think I should open another branch? And he was like, एक तो संभलनी नहीं है, दूसरी खोलनी है. So, and there he goes. So I've had my own share of battles, and you have to fight, but
Yeah.
that is what it is. And the last one would be just work hard. I don't think there is any substitute to hard work.
Yeah.
And I think you just have to there is a very famous song, and it's one of my favorite lines from that song is from Dangal, is बंदे की किस्मत को बंदे की मेहनत को किस्मत का सादर प्रणाम है प्यारे, meaning work so hard that no matter what your luck is, it will bow down to your
Love it.
hard work.
Absolutely.
So
That's beautiful.
Yeah, and I think if you're passionate about something, that
Yeah.
hard work comes naturally to you.
yeah.
And we have met Deepali's husband, Ashish. Hi, Ashish. If you're watching this, opposites do attract. So, yeah, on the lighter side. But yeah, I love that drive, that craziness in you, Deepali, because I feel वो होनी चाहिए. Like, if you are fighting for your dreams, that come. Every famous person, every person we read in history about has done that. They have imagined things that nobody else could envision and imagine, and that's why they are famous even till today, right?
Yeah, and
So-
I do feel like, I have like I said, I'm a risk taker. I have so many ideas. I want to keep going, but then I do need somebody to give me a reality check and ground me and pull me down and be like, listen, because I do realize, and sorry, here's another tip, that you should know your limitations. I mean, each one for themselves. I will never say that, quit your job tomorrow and just start your own business. know your own limitations. I mean, I know my limitations, my financial limitations, our kids, our responsibilities. And so I do understand where he's coming from. And I don't know, you will not believe this, but it's been 5 years of officially running Live2Dance as a business.
Wow.
And I'm still not a profitable business. It is... it is really hard as a dance as a business is a very flawed business model. I mean, if you think about it, even though I have this really big community and on the outskirts it's so huge, and I'm very thankful for them. I know they all love me and I love them back, but from a business perspective, if you see, I'm still relying on everyday footfall for people to come to be able to make enough revenue to pay for my expenses, right? So some days I get 50 people, and some days I get, like yesterday we had 7 people in the class, and today we had no class. So, I'm still relying on everyday footfall. And in fact, another one would be do your research before you dive into a project, because I did speak to a lot of dance studio owners after I started my business, and because I wanted to understand what is it that I'm doing wrong, like how could I be so off, right? And then I realized that I'm not talking about people who run their dance classes, I'm saying people who own a dance studio. And then what I realized is everyone told me the same thing, that they all have another source of income. So the reason, so dance studio is just a passion project. It cannot, if you can't dive into it thinking that, oh, I'm going to make $1 million of it, because that's never going to happen. It is a small business.
Right.
You rely on daily foot traffic. The expenses are high. You have to work hard every single day. The returns are not great, but the only reason you're doing it is because you are so passionate about it. You're changing lives. You're creating an impact.
Yeah, I mean, there is nothing more satisfying than that, right? I mean, you can see in real time the impact that you have on so many people, not just through Google reviews, but people coming and actually saying this to you on your face.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
that is way more powerful than money.
Yeah. So I think something that you said along those lines, moving to the next question, is I think there is a lot of like fight back and also being raw and authentic. There are very few people I have met who will be that transparent about, their business and saying it out loud, because they are working hard. So I want to ask you, the next question is, how has because I know the first thing that I learned about you when we met was that you're an army brat, right? So how did your army background or your father's army background while you were growing up in India had this impact on your life, and what have you learned that you're still like imbibing in your kids maybe, or practicing in your home that you have created in Seattle?
Oh, I think I am through and through, head to toe, an army product. I think that is who I am, and that is what defines me. Every quality that you'd see in me it comes from Indian Army, and Indian Army is truly home for me. I cannot even get through a sentence without getting too emotional about, because I've seen very up and close and personal about all these brave men and women who things like we won't even understand how they do it, but they do sacrifice for our country.
That's true.
Most often than not unrecognized. People don't even realize the kind of efforts that they do. So and my dad, my grandfather, my uncles, everybody, everybody in the Jamwal family has served the Indian Army. And I'm not just saying serve for like 2 or 3 years. I'm saying their entire career of 32 years or 40 years in the Indian Army. So needless to say, I was brought up with this, pride and valor for our country, for our flag, for the forces. And so patriotism is something that it just comes naturally to me. It is inside of me. So I think that's what I carry for. I'm a very proud Indian. I'm a very, I want to scream out loud and shout and be unapologetically Indian. And, I'm so proud of our culture, our heritage.
That's beautiful.
I think I'm resilient. I think every Indian is so resilient and hardworking because of our culture and, how we grew up. So I'm very proud of where we come from. I think my dad was always away, and we were mostly brought up by my mom. And she's such a lioness, and I think throughout my childhood, she never let us know that she was scared, that she was, stressed. It was just never there. I mean, we never saw it on her face. So we didn't realize that my dad was posted in the valley during insurgency, and, they're fighting terrorists every day, and they're talking about on the call that, who got killed today. And they're all our unit officers, right? People we've lived with, people we've grown up with. And next day they didn't come home because, they were posted in the valley. So I am very, very proud of, I feel like I get my strength from my mom.
Yeah.
And I just am everything. I think I'm an army product. Including, my resilience, and I don't know how to say
That
it,
is
but
that.
I do think that if you've ever lived in India, you owe your lives to the Indian Army. I mean,
That is so true. Yeah.
we will never realize the kind of sacrifices they make on a daily basis.
Also their families. I
Yeah.
mean, it's a very emotional and
That brings me to
physical-
the point that
Yeah.
actually so my dad served the Indian Army for 32 years.
Okay.
And that doesn't mean that just my dad served, right? Like my mom
Absolutely.
served along
Yes.
with that for 32 years. And after retirement, they started their own academy to guide the young crowd of India
Wow.
and motivate them to join the Indian Armed Forces. I mean, including Army, Navy, Air Force, CRPF, police, everything. So belt forces. So they're still serving the country. They're still their entire. I think this passion to serve comes from my family too. I don't know of another way of living. Like
Yeah.
seva is the only way of living, I feel. But yeah, I mean, I am also very aware that people who did not grow up like me, or who
Right.
did not who had different upbringing or different experiences,
Yeah.
they point fingers and they question. I get questioned so many times that what's your ulterior motive? There's no way you could be doing this just out of goodness. I mean, there must be some benefit that you're getting out of it, or something that
Really? You get
oh
those
my
questions?
gosh, so many times. It's insane. In fact, I won't take any names, but I had someone come in and, as a guest instructor, and I was telling him that, I'm going to make sure that your profit is more than mine, because I want to make sure that I genuinely want to, just be
successful. Yeah.
together and successful and grow together. And then he told me that I'm sure you're hiding something. There is no way anybody is this nice, and you got to be
Oh,
kidding
wow.
me. And but I do
mean-
realize that people who don't know me, hi Gigi,
I mean, talk about the world where you live in, where actually if somebody's being nice to
You're
you,
questioning
and you
that.
are like scared, hey, why is this person being nice to me? Like, that's a really bad place to be in,
exactly.
right?
Can you believe it? How scary that
Yeah,
is?
yeah.
Just questioning the goodness. What kind of world are we living in? But also, I do know that anybody who does not know me questions me initially, but then eventually they'll
know you as a
realize.
person.
Yeah,
But I
I
think
understand.
a person can fake for only so long, right?
yeah.
If you are actually faking it, you cannot fake it for like forever or
Yeah.
for so many
For
years,
5
right?
years, yeah.
I mean, it generally needs to come from inside that
Yeah.
you can continue for this long and keep going and going, despite like sharing all the hurdles. Like you
Yeah.
share all the hurdles and all the barriers you
Yeah.
had to hop through to go
Yeah.
be. And in fact, you're doing it right now as well as you're speaking, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, if people cannot see that, then
I get it.
It's-
I get this asked so many times. What's your ulterior motive, and
Oh
what's in
my
it for you?
God.
Even when
Wow.
I don't know if you know, but when the Instagram debacle happened, and
Yeah.
I was helping so many people just recover.
Yup.
एक तो मैं तुम्हारी help कर रहा हूँ. ऊपर से they're questioning me. What's in it for you? Like तुम्हें कितने पैसे मिल रहे हैं? I'm like,
Oh God.
dude, I am taking time out of my busy schedule. You have no idea how busy my schedule is.
Right.
I'm still doing it for you,
Oh,
and people are
wow.
questioning it.
That's really interesting. Human psychology is a totally different
Yeah.
topic. But yeah, I mean, thank you for sharing. I feel we will link your parents' website if they have.
Yes,
like, if
yes,
people
that
want to
would be
learn
great.
more in India, everybody listening,
It's gonna
अगर
be-
तुम्हें join करनी है Indian Army and Navy and you want to learn more about it,
It's called Lakshya Defense Academy.
okay, Laksh Defense Academy by Deepali's parents, and of course we will also link her handles so you can see Live2Dance, you can follow her, you can also question her if you have any questions
Yep,
on
we'll share
how
the
to-
link, we'll share stories
Exactly.
so that you can have access to that and post questions or like get your clarifications.
Okay, and Gigi is with Deepali now.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to the
Yeah,
next
let's move on to the
question.
next question. So, Deepali, first of all, like, I really thank you. You do so much for the Indian community over here. Somehow I feel like, immigrants, when they come to America, they're so bogged down by the day-to-day activities that they have to find a job, they have to pay the bills, they have to, maybe, get a green card. And so there's so many things going on in their life that they don't have time to sort of like, think about the community in general. And I think, they try to assimilate as well, which is, in some way, fashion's right as well in the American culture. And they forget about like, the Indian values and things of that nature. But I think I really appreciate the fact that you bring those Indian values. You let people know that you should embrace them and be loud and be like, shout about your Indian values. Just embrace it and like, with your open arms and like talk about it openly. So please like share with us like what are you doing in this area? What's your vision and like what drives you to be like such a proud Indian, in America?
Rishab, this is my favorite topic.
Yeah.
Every time you'd come to my class, you'd hear this speech. I think at this point, my students know my speech so well that they'll mouth with me when I'm talking. But it is true. I am extremely proud Indian.
Yeah.
I think that is what defines us. And once you truly understand who you are and what your values are and why you are the way you are. I am so resilient because of my upbringing, because of my culture, because that is what we have been taught. Once you realize all of that, you will be so proud. And I think oftentimes people forget about that because, of like you said, it just boggled down with day-to-day activities. So when they come to my class, invariably I give this speech and I'm not even making this up. I think when I'm gonna say this, people are gonna mouth words with me, but I say this that I don't care if you learn this choreography today or not. The one thing I want you to take back from this class is that when you leave the studio, you should feel so tall and big and your chest filled with pride about who you are. Each one of the immigrant who's here has worked so hard to be here, right? There is everybody came with nothing in their pockets, and everybody has worked their way up. No family, no friends, and जो भी बनाया खुद से बनाया, हमने खुद अपनी मेहनत से बनाया. Isn't that something to be so proud of? अगर हम ये कर सकते हैं तो कुछ भी कर सकते हैं. Look around you. I'm very, very proud of who I am. And I want every person who comes to Live2Dance to feel so proud of who they are and speak it out loud and proud and just be so authentically, unapologetically Bollywood. मतलब तो क्या यार, हाँ है हम बॉलीवुड है, हमारे खून में बॉलीवुड.
I mean, we're known for that.
हम बॉलीवुड में बात करते हैं, मतलब है हम.
Exactly.
So why not?
Other thing is Live to Serve, right? You
Yeah.
are also starting an initiative. We would love for everyone to know about it.
So I feel like Live to Serve is a very gradual segue from Live to Dance. I mean, ऐसा नहीं हम कुछ नया start कर रहे हैं. We've always, my sister and I have always been very involved with various causes throughout our lives. We both are raised as empaths, and we have our own causes. So but अभी तक हम सब कुछ ना Live to Dance के बैनर में कर रहे थे या फिर अपने आप कर रहे थे. And Live to Serve is just a more structured and more organized channel to serve, basically. So the 4 causes that we've chosen, my sister chose environment, which she's very, very passionate about, and vulnerable, so animals and kids. And I chose women empowerment and Indian representation, which I have always been working towards. And there's nothing new that we are starting. But within Indian representation, we want to give more visibility to Indian arts and culture. Give more platforms for अगर किसी को pottery करनी आती है तो come here, we will give you the platform. And I think we have a very solid Live to Dance का base, so we will be able to give you platform to come and teach us pottery या फिर rangoli or henna or just promoting our cultural stuff. And then of course with all the Indian representation and with the things that I'm doing with the Council General of India, we're working towards India Day, Independence Day Parade, and then
in Seattle.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
When, this August?
Yeah, 15th August.
Oh,
Yes,
wow,
we're
just around the corner.
Yeah. So we're like, there's so many things that we've planned, and we will be doing it. And
Okay, moving to our last question, which is one of my favorite questions. So I also started Girl Squad. Deepali knows about it. And I think coming from really different backgrounds, both of us, different times moving to Seattle and not knowing about Live2Dance when I started this, she not knowing about Girl Squad when I met her for the first time. I think there is this Harvard study, the longest Harvard study, that says that the happiest, they actually researched people who lived more than 90 years and they asked them what is the reason unki longevity ka, and they got to know that community and the quality of their relationships. And this is something that even I have observed. There are so many females I know who came to Girl Squad and found their friends, right? And I see their pictures all over Instagram. They have found their groups. So, and I mean, they are living their life in Seattle. And these are people who have told me in the past that I was planning to move out of Seattle क्योंकि कोई था नहीं यहाँ पर. And similarly with Live2Dance, I know there are so many stories that people have shared that, hey, you know what? This particular place made me stay here. So Deepali, my question to you is this study true that Harvard did? And can you prove it with some of the Live2Dance stories that people have shared with you about community, friendships, and happiness?
Oh my gosh, Ankita, how much time do you have? He just gave us a timer of 15 minutes. Do you think, I think I can go on forever, but you answered your own question that, community is basically survival. I think we are all social animals, and in today's world where loneliness can be such a pandemic in our lives, communities is what helps us survive. It's basic for survival, and not just survival. True. I think that's where you find your own vibe, your own tribe, and you're and today when we're living away from home, we don't have family and friends here. We are just thriving off of community. So like for example, I'll give you an example of this girl who called me from India on her wedding day, and she's telling me that her wedding with her 4-year-old boyfriend got called off at the last minute, and she has no motivation to come back to Seattle except for Live2Dance, and she's looking at Live2Dance to heal, and today she's living her best life. Like you see her Instagram post, she is the person that she'd never been. She's so amazing. Free because she leaned on Live2Dance for support. The other example that oh gosh, Ankita, you'll really have to stop me whenever you think it's time.
No,
but I really want to share this example of I was in class, and after class this guy comes up to me and he's like, can I speak to you for 2 minutes? I was like, of course. So we moved to the side, and he's telling me that last year he woke up in the middle of the night to find that his wife wasn't next to him. And his worst nightmare came true. His wife, she had this prolonged physical illness that led to mental illness, and he lost her to that. So and obviously when something like this happens, you want to end things for yourself, and he was so close to ending things for himself, but I'm glad he didn't, and he came to Live2Dance.
Oh my God.
And I cannot tell you, he was in tears, and he was telling me that Live2Dance has given me another life. And that's what community does to you. I mean, he found love, he found warmth to heal, and it's that's what community does. Same examples as people ready to leave for India, don't want to stay here, don't have any friends, and then stumble upon one class at Live2Dance and tell their parents, I'm not coming back because we found home.
Happiness.
Yeah.
I'm sure after this episode, people will be like, we want chapters all across America, in San Francisco, and Chicago, and New York for Live2Dance, right?
Yeah.
So you'll get
Please
more.
Comment. Yeah. Deepali has some ideas.
All right, it's time to wrap it up. Ankita, do you want to wrap it up?
Yeah, this was so insightful, so lovely, Deepali. We always knew that you are this person who has these amazing insights, so many experiences. Like every person I've spoken to has always said good things about you. We have witnessed the Live2Dance showcase this time. If you have not, it happens every year in Seattle. Fly in or just watch it if it's on YouTube. But it's one of the most beautiful things, and I just believe that if you're doing good, good comes back to you. I'm a true believer in karma, and I believe, Deepali, whatever you are doing, everybody watching, listening, or who has ever met you, know that you want to serve the community on so many different levels, right? So good luck for all your initiatives. Thank you so much for meeting us.
This was such a powerful episode. Thank you so much, Deepali.
Seriously.
Thanks to you guys. I mean, thanks for having me here, and thanks for building what you have and giving so much voice and visibility to so many people and share their stories. And you guys are doing an amazing job, you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank
It
you so much.
It really means world to us.
Thank you, Gigi.
And folks, if you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. So only a fraction of people who watch our videos actually subscribe. So I just want to say a subscription really helps us. It helps us in getting more guests that you want to have on our podcast. So please subscribe. This will really help the channel, help you in a way as well, because we will have more guests and they'll share more insights. So please help us out. Help yourself.
And also, one last thing. If you really like this episode, please let us know what you loved about this episode. Also, let us know that, if there are any other guests that you would like for us to host on our podcast. But thank you so much for supporting us, and stay curious.
Thank you so much for
Thank you,
watching this
everyone.
episode.
Thank
All right,
you.
folks.
Thank
Until
you.
next time.